Hello, lovely YouTubers. How are your home quarantine going? I hope you are finding something to do with your time. Today we discuss about how corona vaccine is made and what are the hurdles for a vaccine to reach from the lab into you or me. Usually it's a saying in medicine that a medicine can cure disease, but the case here is different. Without vaccine, this disease can come again and again, and whole world might never return to the normal. But it's not the certainty anyway. The chase of antivirus and vaccine has long started, and it's most urgent now. The milestone has just been stepped when the first human trial began. Much of the work done so far is remodeling the vaccine that was developed during SARS outbreak. Because coronavirus shares 80 to 90% of the genome with SARS, it has been much of the success till now. There are about 1300 COVID-19 trials now underway worldwide compared to 1200 running trial in the end of the March, and it seems like Australia, America, UK are in the leading front. It is exciting, but the matter of fact is 93% of the vaccine fails in the process before reaching it to you and me. There are many reasons including geography, comorbid conditions and politics. At least 35 companies and institutions are now working on the vaccine in America alone. This vaccine is unique in itself as it's the first test mRNA 1273 was injected for the first time in a woman for coronavirus at the end of the April, but the report says itself experimental as it has never been tested in humans before. On the other hand, UK is funding 24 different researches in the country, and the one done in the Oxford is believed for quick access for people and poor countries. This is Jennifer Heller. She is the first person in the world to be given potential corona vaccine. She says,
everybody's feeling so helpless right now, and I realized that there was something that I could do to help.
I could do to help. So far, 45 volunteers has been given 2 doses of injection, and the first phase of the vaccine trial seems promising. Rebecca Surel, the other participant, says there is certain
There's
amount of
obviously a certain amount of nerves associated with it, so I hope
will
there is
happen
no.
and hope there is no creepy side effects. Now this vaccine will go to the second and third trial, and that would take at least another 18 months. As most of the vaccine before used weak strain or dead virus to make a vaccine, this vaccine is unique in itself as it uses special genetic code that makes a special protein called antibody when injected in the body, and the virus will be exposed to the system and it will help our body to kill it. With many rich and powerful countries in the race, different countries are claiming to be the first to use it. Now, on the other hand, UK is helping WHO for equitable access to all the countries, but the richer countries have pre-ordered the vaccine while the poor countries are still in the back of the queue. It's hard to debate who takes it first when the stakes are so high. Now, let's discuss about what are the real hurdles in developing a vaccine. The first number is funding. In the past month, world leaders has recently collected 8 billions to fund the vaccine development. Different organizations like Wellcome has invested $100 million alongside many countries like Germany, Norway, UK, Belgium, Mexico, Ethiopia, Australia in a collaborated research. Now you can imagine the amount of economy it's draining, but if you think it's more, there is 2 to 4 trillion dollars of loss due to outbreak. So it is not. Even if we could open the world 1 or 2 weeks earlier, the vaccine could pay itself. The other hurdle is making vaccines safe. A vaccine should get several ways of testing them before they get into you and me. First, one needs to find what really works, and that chemical needs to be tested in many phases of trials. First in lab, and then in animals, and then small amount of volunteers, and then they have to be approved by authorities. Some of them can even take as long as 10 to 15 years, and scientists are giving all they have to cut down to 18 months. In an interview, an expert said, "We are pacing our rates 6 to 18 months timeline on an assumption that everything works exactly as we desire, but often it doesn't work that way." Now, the other hurdle is manufacturing vaccines. Scaling a manufacture capacity is itself a very great hurdle, and at least 20 billion doses needs to be produced in the first phase, and that too very fast. Realizing the same, Gates Foundation has committed to build a factory for 7 most promising candidates, and there would be 5 vaccine in a vial. Otherwise, there would be shortage of the vial, and this much vaccine is impossible to be made. The fourth hurdle is distribution. If any one person in the earth stays without a coverage of vaccine, it's serious threat not only to him but the whole world. Every last mile needs to be reached to deliver a vaccine across the globe, and needs to be administered in all billions of people, from US to Africa to Nepal, from large hospital to small clinic. And authorities are working with UPS, cargo, ships, planes, trucks, and drones, and everything possible to reach it to you. But however, the problem with equitable access, the training to provider, will always be an issue. Making vaccine is a small job considered in the long run. Just because a vaccine has been developed doesn't mean that you will have access to it. Who gets it first and how much you pay for it depends on the diplomatics. Everything counts here. Days counts, hour counts, and minutes does too. When you are locked in a small room with a little food and a memory of past living freely, probably talking online with friends and family, world is changing faster than you can imagine. But by staying in a home, you are contributing a lot when it comes to medical billing. Cutting 15 years to 15 months need a lot more than maybe you can imagine. For people like us, who gets the vaccine first is more about politics and who develops it first. Help yourself to help the world. Stay in home, stay safe. With this, I'd like to sign up for today, and in next episode I'd come up with the price of each vaccine, the cost that will go from your and my pocket. Thank you. If you like the video, do subscribe, like.